Hello, and welcome to PodQuest, episode number 567. It is
Hey.
Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. I am Drew. With me is Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
And we've got a special guest this week. Cobb is out on assignment, so filling in the third mic, we have Sean, Yo Potato, of the Spuds Club.
I'm here just to do my part.
His part.
Yeah, how's it going? How have your weeks been?
Quick note there, Drew. Cobb usually says hi, PodQuest episode, whatever, and gives us a second to say hi. You didn't give us that second. So just a little quick note. That's all. Nothing big. Not a big deal.
I'm running this ship this week. He's on assignment.
New captain aboard.
I'm gonna run this thing directly into the ground. Gonna go full Jason Mantzoukas on Taskmaster and just break everything.
Oh God!
Anyway.
I had you at 200% on Discord. I was wondering why you were blowing out my ears.
Yeah, that'll do it. What's on this rundown for this week?
So on this week, Drew played a game that is a year since I played a game that's been like 5 years since the game was out, called Mario Odyssey. To be honest, probably my favorite 3D Mario game out there. Maybe. I have been celebrating my 4-year streaming anniversary with Pokemon Platinum Randomizer. There's a new song from the band Streetlight Manifesto, some information about an Xbox PC app allowing BattleNet and shit, and then maybe more depending on time and stuff. But that's the general gist of what we got this week.
Yeah, there's some stuff. There's some things.
Yeah. I don't know what Potato did. Potato didn't tell us anything he did. He didn't do anything this week.
I did plenty of things this week. In fact, Drew was up until almost 3 a.m. one of these nights.
It's true. We'll plug that a little later.
Oh, we don't even have to plug that. We can skip that and just go to the next. Never again.
But anyway, Drew.
Yeah.
How you feeling about one of the best Mario games out there?
I kind of feel how you feel about 2D Mario games, about 3D Mario games. Like, it's fine. I cannot in any way say that it is like a bad game. Like I have some minor complaints about the camera sometimes. But I don't feel like I don't like the 3D platforming that much.
I love 3D platforming. 3D platforming is where platforming should be. In every game. 2D platforming for the birds. 3D platforming, let's go.
I do also, think... I was going to say, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, I do think the Mario Odyssey on the Switch is probably my second favorite, but that's really just due to nostalgia and Mario 64 being my favorite.
Oh, favorite... It's a tough call with me. Favorites, it's either Galaxy or Odyssey being favorite. It's really because it's close because it's about the music for the most part. Like the games are both great games. It's been a longer time since I've played Galaxy, so like I'd have to replay to fully remember it. But like both of them have amazing music and are also incredibly fun and have some great levels and stuff. That is just like they're really close to each other, and I just can't. I think Odyssey just barely beats it out, just barely on the music, but it's just really close.
Maybe I should play with the volume up a little more.
Bro, if you're not playing with fucking music in a Mario game, you're fucking up big time.
I mean, it's not that I have it on like mute like I do like when I'm playing like Diablo or some shit, but I also haven't noticed it, but I might just I'll turn it up a little louder the next time I play. Because I'll probably finish it, but like part of my problem, I feel like it's missing like the Mario power-ups. Like it's the capturing stuff and the different abilities you get from them are cool. And I think part of my issue is I'm playing it on the Switch Lite, which fucks you. They fucked up. But this is actually my biggest complaint: is they fucked up this game that is made on a platform that could be played strictly handheld. And there are some things that you absolutely cannot do with any consistency if you're playing in handheld mode. And that's fucked up.
How so?
You can't do the like spin hat. Is fucking.
Yes, you can.
You can do that. It's hard. It's dumb.
It's easy. It's literally. I was playing that game on a full ass fucking delay. You've seen my delay. I've showed videos of it, and I was able to consistently do that spin without using. I don't use motion controls when I'm playing Mario Odyssey. I do not use motion controls.
But I mean, there are straight up commands for a lot of things that are. It's a motion control, and there's no other option. Especially the capture things. There's a lot of things that are like.
Oh, I mean, I guess there's the shaking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I guess that complaint is more on the Switch Lite and less on the game itself, because the Switch itself is built to where you can take the controllers off and you can play with the controllers off.
Right.
And it's like shaking to get taller and stuff like that. So that's more a complaint on the Switch Lite not being able to have removable controllers.
Yes, with the exception of the fact that, like I said, the original Switch is able to be played in just fully handheld mode. So it's like, why is there not an option to like change that to another button? There's buttons that aren't used, and I'm like,
I'm pretty sure you can set it to like handheld mode or set it to
there's no control scheme change.
But again, it is made the original Switch. Yeah, you can, but you can also disconnect the controllers.
Right. Yes, you can. But again, like if the original Switch was like the only way to play it portably was you had to disconnect the controllers and like put it down with the kickstand, that would be more justifiable. It's like, yeah, okay, the thing was originally built to always have the access to motion controls. The fact that that's not technically the case is like, why wasn't there another option? Like, yes, it's to show off the motion controls and whatnot, but it feels like an oversight to have some things that were like, okay, well, fuck you then, I guess.
According to Google AI, you can turn off motion controls in Mario Odyssey.
I searched that, and like I went into all the options. I didn't see an option to go change it.
AI sometimes hallucinates.
Yeah, that thing. I do not trust.
This is why I also say according to Google AI to start it. But now I am opening up. Fuck updating the software. I don't need to update the software. I am opening up Odyssey on my Switch right now to see if this tracks, because it says pause the game, press the plus button to access the game's pause menu, access options to select options or settings, find the controls, toggle motion controls. That's what the Google AI says. Whether it's true or not, we'll see. But what else about Mario Odyssey while I figure this out?
I mean, it looks great, and aside from the handful of times, which is a small handful in the however far, I'm like, how many worlds are there in this? I'm imagining it's 8 or whatever.
Probably 8. Yeah.
I have used motion controls off. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't show any new way to do some of these things in the controls. So it's like, yeah, you can turn it off. But I think that's mostly just so, like, if you are playing with the controls separated, that just accidentally moving your hands doesn't randomly start doing shit on you.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's been a while since I've played it, so I don't know. There might be a way to do some of this stuff without the motion. I was using a controller, so I completely forgot that there was motion to some of the enemy things to like stand taller and things like that. It's really just to stand taller. Move a little bit faster.
If you go through a lot of the captures have some other thing that like it's a motion control, or like the vertical hat throw, which I don't really know if that's really useful for anything.
No, it's not. But like all of the hat. That's for speedrunning tricks and stuff like that. It's the hat shit.
I do wish
for speedrunning.
The spin throw was easier to do just on a controller. Like it's like, just shake the thing to the side to do it on motion control. Without it, you have to like spin Mario and then throw the hat. Unless I'm doing that wrong.
No, it's spin Mario and he'll get into a whirlwind spin and you throw the hat and he'll throw it. It's honestly the easiest thing to do in that game.
Oh, it's like that
it's
is easy to do, but I'm sure it's easier to shake the controller to one side and he just does it.
Not necessarily. I will be honest. Listen,
fair.
I actually was more successful in spinning and throwing than I was just motioning the controller. Because I wasn't playing on like Joy-Cons. I was playing on a Pro controller. So you have to twist the whole controller. And like if I could avoid motion controls in that game, I did. Like I didn't use motion controls. I didn't do any speedrun strats and things like that. I got all the stars or all the power moves. So but yeah. What else did you got to say? How far are you? What world are you at?
I just got to New Donk City.
That's exactly where you need the fucking music on, man.
I mean, I just got through like the intro area of that level.
Did you haven't done the specials, the festival yet?
No.
That's exactly when you need the music.
All right.
When you do the special.
I'll make sure the next time I have it on in fact, I'll actually charge this and I'll probably play more after we finish recording. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Like I said, it's not, in no way am I trying to say it's a bad game. It's like, it might not just be for me. Whereas like, I love Mario World. I think Mario World is the perfect Mario game.
Yeah, and I think I mean, look, I was playing in a pretty crazy delay, as we have now learned. I don't know how much that affected me, but it's 2D in general, not just 2D Mario. Like, I'm not looking forward to playing Celeste because 2D platformers just are not my cup of tea. Like, the closest I get to a 2D platformer is a Metroidvania, and like really, the closest to that in a sense of a platformer is Hollow Knight and Silksong. I'll be playing, like, I love Hollow Knight. I'll be playing Silksong when that comes out. That's like the closest thing to a platformer that I really like when it comes to 2D. 2D Mario, if you can't dash in the air, fuck that. And 2D Mario, you can't dash in the air. Well, maybe in Wonder, though. I haven't played Wonder yet.
I haven't either. That one was interesting to me, but... That
was like the first 2D Mario game. I was like, I kind of want to get that one. I also never got 3D World either. Or New 3D World or whatever it was, the one that came out on Switch with the Bowser level, or the Bowser add-on to it.
Right.
But yeah, I love Odyssey. I hope you like listen to the music more and listen. Like that is a thing. Like, you don't play many video games with audio on, and like
that's
Mario.
Also, I mean, that's not necessarily true.
Bro, you've told me you don't play Apex with audio on, man.
No, bro, I play Apex strictly with headphones on.
But there's been games that you've told me that it blew my mind that you didn't have audio. Like Diablo is one thing because it's the same thing over and over and over.
It's mostly that kind of a game that I don't play with audio on. But Doom that I'm currently, the Doom the Dark Age, I have the audio on because the music in that fucking rips.
But like Mario has some amazing sound design. All the Mario games I've ever played, even the classic ones, even the 2D ones, even Super Mario World, has amazing sound design. It has some of the best sound design, best songs and whatnot. That like it just you can't not play. No matter how many times I play a Mario game, especially like the 3D World games, I'm having the music on because it's perfect sound design.
Yeah. I might be a weirdo, but I feel like most games I play, the first setting I do is mute the audio. Not the audio, the music, the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Mario is probably one of the few I wouldn't, but...
It totally depends on the game for me.
I want the music on because the music, if it's done well, and there are occasional times where like I've played a game and the music just like was just bad and I hated the game. It like made the game worse. Also, like there was one time I played. It was a Lego one of the Lego City games that somebody had me play on stream, and this is when like weed was more recently like legalized for recreational use in New Jersey, and I took an edible before or during that stream, and the music was so goddamn repetitive and bad that it gave me anxiety that I was taking too long to beat the level. Realistically, it probably took me 15 minutes to beat. It felt like an hour because I just kept hearing the same thing over and over. That's bad design. Mm-hmm. But like most games will have, especially nowadays, the sound design and the music design itself is made to be atmospheric to help you pull you into the story and pull you into where you are. That like you to me, like if you're playing without it, you're not like you're hurting yourself out of an experience. Like you should have the music on because that gives you a full encapsulation of the game. And like even with Diablo, the first time you play through it, you should have the music on.
I mean,
like,
the first time I'm playing a Diablo game, I am playing with all the sound on because I actually give a shit about its dumbass story. But it's after I've played through the story, I'm like, okay, I've heard everything. I don't need to be hearing it. I'm going to put some podcast or some music on while a billion enemies blow up on my screen and drop shiny things.
Yeah, and it's like, and there's definitely games out there like any sort of the farm sim games and stuff like that. Like I'm sure, like I don't even hear the music in Stardew Valley when I play it. I know there's like slight music. It's nice and calming, but like after like I've played enough hours of that game to where like I don't really need the music anymore. I'm here to chill, so I'm here to listen to my own music, and I'll put on my own music in the background and stuff like that. Because the music in those games aren't necessarily made for atmosphere. It's just made to have background noise and stuff like that going on.
Yeah.
But like there's especially a lot of modern games and like even indie games. Like honestly, probably not as much AAA than it is anything else. Like they put effort into the music, and it like you are giving yourself like an experience handicap by not having the music on. That's my opinion. I don't know if other people will agree or not, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's relatively game dependent, but more often than not, the music matters. Yeah. Where I'm definitely with Sean on the music is like a game where you're just kind of it's menu music, or it's really like sports games. Like fuck the menu music. I'm turning that shit off immediately.
The City Skylines 1 had radio stations, and I would turn that shit off. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
It's menu music. Like I'm not gonna have it. But like I don't play sports games like you guys do. I don't play shooters like you guys do, where it's just like all that. Like even if I were like when I played Apex, I would there's no music in Apex, but on the rare times that I did actually have audio in the game, like I would not have any background music playing. Like I'll watch streamers and they're playing games like I was watching Aliens video that you were in, Potato, of you guys playing Splitgate 2, and like he has music on in the background of his streams. And I'm just like, how are you playing a game with music? Like playing a game like this with music and still hearing the audio cues or trying to pick up on the audio cues. Like it blows my mind. I'm like, I can't do that. Like I can't. And there's a lot of, what's that?
I'm with you on that actually. I don't like music in games where sound matters for the gameplay for me, like Counter-Strike being one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But like story-driven games, like I don't know if Mario would really count. I guess it kind of does.
Mario does, yeah.
Yeah. But games that have like a real cinematic feel and you're playing along with the story, like I'll absolutely have the music on for that. Like that's a given. Because like you said, it pulls you in.
Yeah. Right now, the only time I really the only time I turn off music in games is when I'm recording for a Let's Play. Because I've done that and I've had music on and the continuity is just bad because I'm skipping and cutting and the music I've had to get into the process of remembering to turn off the music, especially like when I do 7 Days to Die. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to past few series that I've done during the Horde nights and during like intense moments in the game. I will actually put on like royalty free like rock music and shit that has lyrics and whatnot while I'm fighting the Horde and stuff. I think it's really cool. No one's said anything bad about it. But like that game during Hordes and when there's like wandering Hordes coming at you, music gets added to just like, honestly, it's really just an audio cue to let you know that there is a Horde. Yeah. But like, I'm just like, I don't really need this because then it like, that actually hurts the experience of survival because now I know that there's a lot of zombies here. But it hurts the Let's Play because now when I'm cutting as I'm doing a montage of me killing zombies, it's just blips of music here and there that aren't continuous. So I've gotten it, like right now I'm playing Oblivion and I've got the music off, which kind of sucks because like there is atmospheric music in that game, but I don't get to hear it.
Now that's a game where I could probably be I could go either way on the music. Like,
Mhm.
yes, it probably is very fitting and like good with the atmosphere, but also I don't know that how much like the music in Oblivion or Skyrim like I would really give a shit about playing either of those games with really even the sound on. That's actually a game where I might actually just turn subtitles on and read all the quest dialogue and whatnot.
You still need sound in Oblivion and Skyrim because like you'll need monster sounds for when they're coming to attack you and they're behind you and stuff like that. You need sound.
The giant can come smack me with their club and send me launching in the air like a fucking missile.
There's no giants in Oblivion, only in Skyrim.
Oh, all right. Have you found them yet? Maybe you just haven't found them yet.
I have not played a lot of Oblivion in my life, but I know enough that there are not giants because the giants are only in Skyrim. They're only in the north.
Well, fair. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah. Well, I hope
it's a Mario game.
I hope you find more joy out of Mario. I hope you get to experience some fun levels and scenarios. And like, I hope it pushes you to not necessarily get all of the power moons, but at least like try to experience some of the power moons. And even some of the more difficult runs for power moons. Like it's one of those games that like I feel like you might get into it a little bit more when you get to some of the harder stuff. Which like,
but yes, I kind of do feel that. I feel it has been a little too easy.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of done with this. Like, let me get to something interesting.
Which like that won't happen until you dive deeper into each level to find some of the moons you have not found yet, and not just doing them. Like there are some difficult. It's like puzzly moons and difficult moons trying to figure out where things are. And then like it's really just like the late level, the darker side of the moon that has a lot of the really difficult power moons.
Okay.
Because it puts you in scenarios where you should have something that you no longer have, or like you don't have your hat, so you can't use Cappy and stuff like that. So you have to make those pitch perfect jumps, and that's where like. There were difficult, and there's no clips of it anymore. Well, I mean, I guess I could probably pull it off YouTube, but there's potentially clips of me raging, doing something for an hour, trying to figure these jumps out. Little did I know I was playing with a pretty severe delay. That might have been easier if I wasn't playing with that delay, but it's just like when it's the FromSoft in me, like that. Once you finally get it, it feels so good.
Yeah, for sure. So how's you playing Switch Plays Pokemon?
All right. I come to realize I have never played Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum before.
Really? You didn't play those?
Apparently not. As far as I can remember, I have never played them. Because what are the starters in Diamond and Pearl? They were
Piplup. Yeah, isn't that the Piplup one?
Gen 4. What was the Gen 4 starters? Which
Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup.
Okay, so I remember having Chimchar and Infernape. I believe Infernape was the final evolution.
Yes.
But I don't really have a lot of memory of the game, of the map. Like I'm playing the Platinum version, so it's a little bit different, but not much. Like it's really they didn't do like a Black and White 2 kind of deal or what didn't they do like a Sun and Moon 2, or did they do an expansion of Sun and Moon?
Oh yeah, what the fuck are those called? But they did.
Ultra Sun.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon or something like that. Like those were like, at least Black and White 2 was a different story, but like sort of continuation. And I think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon might have also been similar to that. Whereas Platinum, I know I never played Platinum.
I've definitely never played Platinum either.
But like, I don't remember a lot of this game in general.
I've never played like any of those third versions, except Yellow, I guess.
Yeah, I never had the third version. I never did either. So like, it's all a whole new story to me, which is interesting to be running a randomizer with something brand new that you have no memory of.
Fair.
But yeah, it's been a good time. There's been some rage fuel in this because and look, I have apologized to everyone during the rage. I was crashing out because like it's a randomizer. So the Pokemon your opponents could be random. It's still typed. It's still similar to, so like if you're facing an opponent who's supposed to have all the same type of Pokemon, it's still typed for them to all have the same type, but it's not going to be the same type that they would have had in the base game.
So
same with
is that for gyms too? Or?
Same with the gyms too. So
oh, that's fucked.
The gyms, all of the gyms are different typing than what they're supposed to be in the game. We had, so here's, if I remember correctly, because I just finished the last gym last night. Dark, psychic,
Ooh.
dark, poison, ice. No, psychic was later, or ghost. Psychic, dark, poison, ice, ghost, ground. The last one was ground. Like, we had all of, like, basically the dark right. type of, like, gyms, and it got rough. Like, if I had to go up against a Sableye, that was, like, near the end for me, because I had a very strong, like, dark team, based on just the Pokemon I was finding, the randomization. My starter was an Absol, because he's literally one of my favorite Pokemon I never get to use, because he's never in the base game of a game, or if he is, he's just incredibly hard to find, and Absol wasn't in Scarlet and Violet, which was the first ever Pokemon I got the full dex on, until the DLCs, and I did not care to get all the Pokemon in the DLCs, because I wasn't caring to do competitive Pokemon. But also, Absol, nowhere near meta in competitive Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. Usually single evolutions aren't.
I've always wanted to get into competitive Pokemon. There's just so much work to do.
Oh, yeah. It's like hardcore competitive Pokemon where all they super care about like the EVs and all that shit. Yeah. I'm like, fuck all that. That's what. Yeah. I'm not gonna go through trying to catch 100 of these things to make sure I get the one that has the very specific temper or whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah. It's just
that's the enthusiast. We're just casual fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then like even in Scarlet and Violet, Absol, I don't think is even in the DLCs. And he might have been in like Sun and Moon, but again, I didn't get all of the first Pokemon game I got all the Pokedex in was Sword and Shield. So, but like this run is really fun. So for anyone who doesn't know or understand, it's like a play on a subathon. The more subs and bits and donations I get, increases the total number of Pokemon I have to catch. Once I reach that threshold, I am not allowed to catch any more Pokemon until that number goes up. But if I beat the game and beat all the story shit before that number goes up, then the run's over and we're done. So yeah, like one of the channel point rewards I have, it's still up, but I have increased the cost and increased the timer between, because it was just being used on me so much, and it was like it was on me that I made the timer so short, but it was just frustrating and aggravating because I was not able to progress because of this. It is to force me to change my entire party, like swap out my entire party. I made it 1,000 points, and it was a half-hour timer. And I was like, all right, no one uses channel points anyway, but 1,000 points, that's a lot. People might not want to use that, but you know, at least somebody will use it. And it was like, just like you and the stickers potato, people set timers on that shit. And every half hour, or like maybe every hour, I was getting switch your Pokemon. And
see, so my trolling is harmless. That I didn't do that. I just did the stickers.
No. I know. And look, I'm not mad at the person who was doing it. I was mad at the situation, because what was going on was they would do it, and the rule is you make me switch my Pokemon. I have to switch my Pokemon to get through a section of the game. Either it be like the next dungeon or the next route. It's not a gym. I don't have to switch my Pokemon for a gym. I can use whatever Pokemon I want, but I have to get to that gym and fight all trainers between that route, or I have to do the next Team Galactic thing with this new party, or I have to do like the next fight outside of a gym, next big fight with that new party. So I would get to a gym, and like it was, let's see, Cobb had donated enough bits to where he got to pick my first party. So I get to the first gym, and I have to spend an hour leveling up this weak-ass party that he gave me.
Oh, no.
Because they were all just super low and just all not great. Let's pull up the party he gave me. Because it was rough, and mostly for one specific reason. So he gave me Togepi as Yumaro, Sandslash, Mr. Mime, Absol, and Shaman. Shaman. It's like the little hedgehog grass type.
Right.
I think it's Shaman.
The problem with Shaman is all of the abilities are also randomized. Shaman's ability is normalize, which means Shaman and all of its attacks are no longer grass. They are normal. Shaman's grass, but all of its attacks are normal. Even grass attacks are normal. So
that's dumb.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. And so he gave me this party, and this party was at such a low level that I had to spend an hour leveling up this party. Finally spend that hour, I level up the party, boom, I defeat the Pokemon, or I defeat the gym trainer, finally. I swap out my team, I go to the next area, and boom, there's another fight with the rival immediately after the gym. And the rival has friggin' what is it? Pinsir, which is way fucking overpowered in this game, especially early game. And I then had to spend another hour powering up Pokemon that could actually kill this Pinsir. So I was just like, all right, we finally got it done. We get to the next gym, and somebody else had donated enough to where I could, they got to pick my party. They picked a relatively better party, but they picked the party expecting it to be like a fighting gym, and it wasn't. It was like the psychic gym or something like that, which then I had to spend all this time leveling up again. And then I went to the next area, and it was every time I was like about to progress, change party. Now I have to spend a half hour or more leveling up this whole party so that I could progress to the next area. And it was just halting progression and making things longer. And it was the straw that broke the camel's back, I think it was on Sunday, was I got a change Pokemon that I was in the middle, while I was in the middle and just about finished leveling up my Pokemon so I could fight the next gym. I got a change Pokemon, and I turned around and was like, no, not changing my Pokemon. I'm doing this gym first, and then we'll change. Because I just spent an hour leveling up this team, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
So I defeat the gym, switch my Pokemon. I'm like, all right, great. Gym's defeated. Let's go. Let's just upgrade. Let's level up the Pokemon in the next route. This will be fine. I had like one or two Pokemon that were like fairly decently leveled. And then it was another fucking rival battle.
Of course.
With this Pinsir. Not only was it a rival battle with a Pinsir, they started out with a Sableye, which my strongest Pokemon in my team at the time was Psychic. Sableye is basically immune to Psychic because it's Dark Ghost or something like that. It's dark. I couldn't fucking do anything. I couldn't hit this Sableye. I was able to get lucky enough to hit the Sableye, and out comes the Pinsir with fucking Dig. Dig is like the strongest move in the game, apparently, especially with this Pinsir. And I had to get lucky. I went and I then fucking leveled up for an hour. And they asked, like, what if we did change party again? And I was like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm turning that off. Because I want to progress, and I spent so long. Like, I had crashed out purely. Straight up crashed out. I had, in order to defeat this this rival fight, I had to equip one of my Pokemon that had Sing with the item that lets them occasionally go first in the fight, or go first each round, and hope that I get the Sing off on them, and then try to attack them. And since Pinsir's bug type and that Pokemon was flying type, it was like, alright, this is a good matchup. However, that Pokemon's ability is it deals extra damage, but it has lower accuracy. So it still took like 2 turns in order for me to get them to sleep. And then it took 2 turns for me to actually hit them. And then once I hit them, they woke up. Because Pokemon is never on the player's fucking side.
Nope.
And then, like, I was able to finally win that fight, and it was 3 Sableyes and a Pinsir.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was bullshit. Like, I was getting when he used dig for the first time, I was like, fucking dig again, because the gym we were just at, which was like a dark type gym. I can't remember what the third gym was. It was either dark poison or psychic. I can't remember which one. One of the Pokemon had fucking dig.
Of course.
And it was that's what I needed to train to beat, was the dig over anything else.
Gotta get them flying types in there, man.
Yeah. Had I realized it was going to dig, yeah.
Had you not been constantly fucked by people telling you you have to use certain things?
Yeah, and it was just so frustrating. I ended up doubling the cost of that to 2,000 points and making it an hour and a half. So it's like, all right, at least I have time. I also have like multiple Pokemon that are within the level that I need them to be at this point, like multiple sets of teams that are close enough or within to where like it shouldn't be too hard to actually level them up if this gets pulled on me again.
Right.
But it was rough because like all the early Pokemon you're getting is like anywhere between level 5 and 12, and I needed to be 20 to 25 in order to actually fight like the third fucking gym. It was insane, the power creep that happens in this game. It is quick with the gym leaders. The Pokemon, the wild Pokemon themselves, are not really anywhere near the level of the gym trainers are. It was wild, and like even the rival fight. But besides that, and even that, it was frustrating, but it was like in the end it was fun. Also, thank God it's an emulator that has fast forward, because otherwise I would have given up. Literally, I would have stopped, because if I have spent, I think in game time 70 hours playing that game across 4 days. Two of them being 10 hours each, and the other two being 3 to 4. I spent about 70 hours in game. But yeah, it's been interesting. At this point, it was on Monday that like I had caught 4 legendary Pokemon.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, new rule: if I catch one more legendary Pokemon, I have to put together a team of 5 legendaries and Absol, because you'll always use your starter, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
The very next day, I caught a 5th Pokemon. It was Raikou, the Thunder Dog from Gen 2.
Right.
He has fucking normal eyes. But I said I'd do it, so I had to do it. Eventually found a Regirock, so I swapped out Raikou and Regirock. And then I had Numbers, who put together, one of my viewers who put together the normalizer. I had him look up where, because like there's a list of where all the Pokemon are and the likelihood of finding them, like in the ROM itself.
Mm-hmm.
I had him look up, because at the time I had Palkia or Giratina and Dialga, which are 2 of the 3 legendaries of the generation of Gen 4.
Right.
Giratina is from Platinum, and Dialga and Palkia are from the base games. And so I said to him, I was like, look in through the thing, and if I have been to the route that this Pokemon is at, tell me where the route is. That's it. If I haven't been to it, tell me I haven't been to it yet. And so Palkia happened to be somewhere I'd just been. So I was like, great. I'm going to have all 3 fucking legendaries of this game with me. So yeah, now I have a team of 5 legendaries and an Absol. 3 of them are fucking dragon type, so if I go up against Dice, I'm screwed. Because Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina are all dragon something. So it's like dragon...
Palkia is Water Dragon, so super fucked versus... Oh, wait, this is saying it's only 1 normal damage against Ice?
Well, it would be Ice. Yeah, water is resistant to... Ice is... Water's resistant to Ice.
Water.
No, you're thinking grass. You might be thinking grass. Grass is weak to ice. Dragon and grass are weak to ice.
Huh.
There might be something else, but dragon, grass are weak to ice. Water is resistant to ice. So because it's dragon water, it's just flat damage. And then Giratina is dragon ghost. So I think is double weak to fairy, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Ghost is also weak to Fairy. And then Palkia is Dragon Steel. So there's no double weakness with him. And then what else? It's that, and then Regirock and Cresselia. I have since caught a Celebi that I thought about using in place of Cresselia, but I was just, nah, I'll use Cresselia instead because I've been using it for so long. And that has an ice move, so like it kind of helps out with some. So I still need to like balance with some attack moves, but it was great because the last gym is a ground gym, and I was able to clear the ground gym with just Palkia. The entire gym, not just the leader, the entire gym with Palkia. And I'm running around with these legendaries that have HMs because I'm like, I'm not gonna swap out. I'm gonna fly on the back of Giratina. I'm gonna have Palkia surf. Like, yeah, it's not like I'm doing this for serious or anything. This is all for fucking fun.
Right.
But yeah, it's been good so far. We have broken 5,000 bits, so it's about $50.
Nice.
Which means we are doing a chat builds my build in Demon Souls play through.
Okay.
So I'm gonna figure out how to work that out. We're not gonna do Demon Souls right away. But I'm gonna either like set aside a stream day where we plan it all out, or talk about it on Discord, or both. We haven't really unlocked anything else, but we are at 7,500 bits, so we are 2,500 away from me playing Cuphead. But we also have, because I did a charity stream last week, we also have the 4 other games I have to play from that charity stream since we met all of our goals. So we got a lot coming up. But yeah, Pokemon's good. I'm playing it again on Sunday, and it's set to Sundays from here until I finish it. And every time I play, the event is still active. So if you give me bits before I play, they don't count towards the event. But if you give me bits on Thursday when I'm playing Sea of Thieves, they don't go towards the event. But if you give me bits on Sunday next week, they'll go towards the event. They'll go towards filling up those numbers.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah. What do you got to say about that, Potato? Huh? Anything good?
I'm all for the stickers.
I know you are. I know you are. I'm all. Look, I bought them for the charity event, and the idea was, every donation, $1 or more, gets a sticker. So with the charity event that I did 2 weeks ago, or last week, 2 weeks ago at this point, I guess, that's pretty much. It was tiers of reward. So if you donated just $1, I'd put a sticker on my face. It was up to $100 was the goal. If $1 was a sticker, $2 was 2 Pokemon added to the starting number. No, $2 was what was $2? I don't remember. $5 was 2 Pokemon added to the start. And so like I was like, during that stream, no one donated, so I was like, I guess no one wants to put stickers on my face. But I was like, I bought these, I have them, let's use them. So like I added it to the channel points. They're Pride stickers, so they're only going to be active during Pride Month. And I'll probably figure out other like sorts of stickers to do throughout the year, but like not doing any sort of stickers next year because they would be or next month because they'd be America stickers, and I'm not happy with this country. So that ain't happening. There's probably going to be no stickers in July. If anything, I'll probably figure out like some sort of happy birthday stickers for August, maybe Halloween stickers in October. And then we have the Christmas balls for December that no one ever uses, which is like it blows my mind. You see the stickers, and you use your points on the stickers, but during December, you never make me put Christmas balls in my beard.
I don't even recall that being a thing.
Yeah, every Christmas, every December. That's the only time I turn it off.
Reminders.
The only time I turn it off is during a cookie stream because I don't want to be touching my beard while baking cookies.
That makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think we appreciate that.
Yeah. And then, so like next year I'll have to figure out stickers and whatnot for like throughout the year. But yeah, it's a fun thing to do. It was funny because it was Sunday during my crash out. Somebody made me go outside and touch grass. And so I have 8 freaking pride flag stickers on my face. I'm crashing out. Somebody's like, go get some fresh air. So I run out to go grab a blade of grass, and my neighbor's outside playing with his daughter in the pool. And I've never talked to him. I don't think I've ever talked to him about the fact that I stream or anything. But like, I go out there and I grab a blade of grass as if nothing's going on, and he's like, what's your system like? And he starts asking me about it because somehow he knows I stream. I don't know how. Maybe it's because I talk very loud and when my windows are open or something. I don't know. But he starts asking me about my stream because he says that he occasionally streams, but he does music production and whatnot, and so he'll be on other people's streams and he wants to check out my setup. And I was like, first of all, don't mind the stickers. They're making me put them on me right now. But if I wasn't streaming right now, I'd have you come on in and I'd show you. But I'm in the middle of like a big stream, so he's like, no, I got you. I'm like, yeah, but next time we're free. I'll talk to you about streaming as much as we can. But it was just like I have freaking 8 pride flag stickers on my face, sitting there trying to get back inside because it's also hot out, and I need to get back into the game. It was funny. It was great.
Made a new friend.
Yeah. For now, we'll see. I don't talk to people. I'm awkward.
Aren't we all?
I don't know. Some people aren't. But Drew.
Yeah.
You're really pumped about Streetlight Manifesto, I guess.
Yeah, well, so they were supposed to put a new album out.
Yeah.
And then Thomas, unsurprisingly, because he's done it for like the last 3 years, delayed the album even more.
Oh, boy.
I think it was supposed to come out 3 years ago at this point. Something like that. I forget. But it's been a while. But literally, we're coming back from Warped Tour, about to get on the train back. So what was that? Last Monday?
Yeah.
And he was posted, yeah, this album was supposed to come out next week. It's going to be in the fall now, but we're going to put out 3 songs, and that's going to be like 20 minutes of stuff because Streetlight writes by far the longest songs in all of ska music.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they did put out those 3 songs, and they're real good.
Nice.
You should listen to them. They're on their YouTube.
I've never really listened to Streetlight Manifesto, so I don't really have much knowledge on their music.
So good.
I honestly didn't even really realize they were ska. So,
I mean, all right. So funnily enough, there's kind of a big, quote unquote big. There's an internet argument about whether or not Streetlight Manifesto is ska, even though half the band used to be Catch 22, which is definitely ska.
Yeah,
including Thomas. And Ska Tune Network did a video essay and says they're ska. So if they say they're ska, they're ska.
Sure. I'll have to take their word for it and your word for it.
But yeah, I mean, Streetlight fucking rules. They're real good. I've seen them live 3 times in the last 2 years now. I'm going to see them again in October.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll actually have their album out in October.
We'll see. It'll probably be close.
It'll be delayed again until next fall. When he said fall,
no one would be surprised.
He meant next fall of 2026.
But yeah, that's all.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 songs, like I said.
Nice,
but they're good. They're good.
And then you added a thing on here about Xbox PC app allowing access to other storefronts.
Yeah.
I forgot that they announced a handheld.
Yeah, Sean notified me of this, so I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Did you have anything specific you want to say about this, Potato?
I think it's great. I love the idea. Microsoft realizes that, Steam OS and these other Linux variants are kind of catching up big time. And I just think it's a step in the right direction for Microsoft in terms of their gaming division with Xbox to hey, we do care about gamers. Here's my thing. I do wish it was the other way around. I wish Steam was, because I don't know if you guys know this, but on Steam, you can actually incorporate your EA Play subscription. You can do EA Play. I wish Game Pass could be inside of Steam. That would be the best solution for me personally. But yeah, I think they're going to be doing a lot of overhauling with Windows OS in general to become more gamer centric with their handhelds coming out, with the Asus. I forget what they're calling it. Is it just the Ally Xbox? I think.
Rogue Ally X. Yes.
Yeah. So I think with that coming out, and I think we had a discussion about this many moons ago, how I thought Xbox would finally come out with their own hardware. This isn't quite it. I was expecting a Surface Xbox sort of situation, but I do think they're gearing up for later down the line with their Windows OS to finally distinguish the two. They're going to have a handheld OS where it's kind of, I think it might be mostly the Xbox app, honestly.
So go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
No, I'm good. That was pretty much it.
Oh, I believe I've been fairly vocal about this theory and thought. Xbox doesn't want to be in the console development anymore. They made they want to be the new Steam, and doing this with their especially with their handheld, is going to make them the new Steam Deck, which more people will get. Like, I'd probably be, to be honest, I'd be more pushed to get this than I would a Steam Deck, because then, like, oh, I could play the Game Pass. They want to be a publisher. They don't want to be a console developer anymore. They want to push everything to Game Pass. They want to push everything to PC, and if there's more money in that. They don't want to have to, quote, fight Sony over the console wars anymore. And they don't need to. They have a winning system with the Xbox Game Pass. They've been slowly trying to release shit with, like, Nintendo's cloud gaming software, which they've been doing on their other stuff, that they've been trying to, honestly, in my opinion, step away from console and just be a publisher. Yep. And this is a great move for them. I agree. It makes Game Pass more accessible, both with having the handheld, but, like, it makes Xbox games more accessible in general. And it gives me more of a reason to get their console over, like, the Steam Deck or something like that, the Steam Deck, because, like, then I'm not going to play Sea of Thieves on a handheld, but, like, I could play what's that fucking game? Avowed on a handheld, but I could also install 7 Days to Die from Steam on this handheld and have the beta versions on there instead. Or Cities, or, like, any of the millions of games I have on Steam. Like, it's a good move.
I agree completely. I just wonder, and I hope, this is my big hope, when they start rolling out this, because I do believe it's going to be part of an inside build of Windows soon. And then I believe late fall is when they're planning for a big rollout.
Does this say when? But I'm not. Yeah, this doesn't say. Their press release doesn't specifically say when they plan on full rolling it out. But
what I expect from this is we're going to see all of these stores. So, like, Steam, obviously Xbox Game Pass, Battle.net, Epic, GOG, like, all of these different platforms are going to be integrated, or I guess allocated into the Xbox app. And if I'm not mistaken, could we potentially see this actually on an Xbox hardware device? I don't know.
I think that's where it might get a little wonky, because I don't know exactly what the Xbox is really running. But I guess it kind of depends how they're able to make this work. I'd say it's plausible, but again, it's like, what is the Xbox PC app versus what is the Xbox app, and can they make that work?
I think it's usually I'd say 50-50. I'm actually leaning 60-40. I think it will happen.
I think it's more likely to happen than not. Just because, like, they have been on the verge to try to push the idea of cloud gaming and stuff like that. This to where, like, they could continue to release Xbox Series S type systems that are, like, not the most powerful, but have cloud gaming capabilities, and then just be like, here, now you got your Steam Deck library based off the cloud. Boom, you're done. You're set. Or your Steam library, not Steam Deck. Yeah, I think you're more likely to see it than not.
I would also lean that way. The only question in my mind is, like, okay, it's all about what runs the Xbox, and if those other storefronts, whatever, can make the thing work on whatever the Xbox is running. And that's where it could be some weird, this is basically a PC, but this one weird thing makes it not, so we can't get this shit running on here for dumb reason number 75. But
yeah,
I just have one request for this. I don't want the game bar to be mandatory. I don't know if you guys have experience with the Xbox game bar. I absolutely loathe it. It is the worst overlay I've ever experienced in my life.
The game, what was that on? I only had, and I barely touched it. The Xbox One was the most recent Xbox I had. It's literally played like 2 games. Like when you hit Windows G?
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah, it's not the most intuitive.
It just ruins my performance. I go from, so this is coming from someone who plays, mostly Steam games, but like when I would play a game like Counter-Strike, that game bar was active, even though it's not an Xbox game. And it would just deteriorate my frames. I would go from like 200 frames all the way down to like 130 because of the DVR functionality of the Xbox game bar.
Can't you just turn that off?
You can, but the problem is it actually never disables. Like you can literally turn it off in the window. Like I guarantee if you try it on your own, you can disable it, like that little box, like the untick it. And then you think it's disabled, right? Well, no, because if you hit Windows G, it's still there. It comes right back up. It never went away. So there's a script you can run on your computer, like a PowerShell script to like permanently get rid of it. But yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I forget. Do you have you have a Rogue, don't you?
I do. I have that Rogue Ally X, which is the one that came out like a year ago. It was like the souped up version. I love it, man. I play it most weeks, like not daily, but definitely like at least once or twice a week. It's a great system to like chill in bed, or like if me and the girlfriend are watching TV and I'm not that interested, I kind of, whip it out and play something. Phrasing. But I caught it afterwards. But yeah, I mean, it's a really fun console because it is Windows based. It does have all of the stores you'd want on there. I mostly just use it for Steam, and I play like little stupid silly games. Like funny enough, you were mentioning earlier, Walnut, about Hollow Knight. That's actually a game I just got into recently.
That game's great, man.
Yeah, I like it so far. So I've been playing that on there. It's amazing for indie games or 2D games, platform games like that. For 3D games, it's questionable. I did try Sea of Thieves on it, and it does run. You just kind of have to fiddle with some of the power settings and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I got it for the reason of wanting to go through a backlog of video games that I've never touched, and I need to, like games that I have in my Steam library that have literally 0 minutes on. And I just want to finally get through some of these games. Hollow Knight was one of them. Cuphead a while ago was one of them. You mentioned Cuphead earlier. If you really want to hate your life, by the way, that is the game to do it with. Like that's one of the most frustrating games I've ever played.
Yeah, I talk about how I don't like 2D platformers, and yet I want to play Cuphead. But that's not quite a platformer as much of as like a bullet hell. So like it's a boss rush bullet hell kind of game. So it's gonna be different, which is why like I might enjoy it more because it's more of the learn to win kind of style of game and not just like a platformer style.
Yeah, you'll be facing the same boss like 30 times, still trying to figure it out sometimes. Like it's because you'll get through like one phase finally, and then it's like, this next phase I have no idea.
Yeah.
Great system though. Definitely recommend. 10 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, the only handheld I have is a Switch, and eventually the Switch 2. I don't do enough handheld gaming to require, like I've talked about this on the show numerous times. I exclusively play the Switch docked. I almost never play the Switch undocked. Almost never. There have been times where what?
I was gonna say, I feel like you play most of your games on stream regardless. That makes sense.
Yeah, on stream, like there's occasions where I'll play like it's not often that I'll play off stream anymore, just because like. If I'm sitting around gaming doing nothing, why the fuck not be on stream?
Content.
But like, content. But at the same time, it's like the only times I'll have my Switch with me because I don't go away often. I don't go on vacations often. So like, if I'm getting my oil changed in my car, I'll probably have my Switch with me and I'll play some Mario Kart. That's about it. Like, other than that, if I'll be home gaming, so I'll be playing either on my TV or on my PC.
You didn't say it, but you just reminded me of another thing I really love the Rogue Ally X is emulators. It runs like just about every emulator I've thrown at it so far, which has been amazing.
Nice. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a thing that would be good for.
Yeah, it's a little handheld PC.
Love it.
I mean, we're at like an hour. Do I hit anything else?
Yeah, I'm only like 2 hours into my current playthrough of 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you guys have either of you guys have played 7 Days to Die, but they recently, last year, about a year ago, they finally launched it after 15 years in alpha. They launched I think it was at 15 years.
We're finally into beta. It was they were calling it alpha,
but it was beta test at that point. They released 1.0. They released the official game, even though still technically wasn't fully finished, but they needed to have it called 1.0 to get it onto Xbox, I guess.
Gotcha.
Because that's how Xbox does things. Like, they can have it as early, or what is it? A preview, or no, they don't call it early access. Yeah. It's what they're doing with Grounded too. It's what they did with Grounded. They call it like but it's not like early access or anything. It's something else. But they wanted to get it onto consoles, and they needed a 1.0 version. Because it was 7 Days to Die when it was on. What was the original like Kickstarter GoFundMe stuff?
Oh shit! The fuck.
Indigo or something?
No, not Indiegogo. It was, but whatever. Maybe it was Kickstarter. I don't remember, but it was in 2012, and at the time, it was the highest grossing video game Kickstarter or whatever of that time. And it has been in development since 2012, and it had 20 plus alpha. I think it was 21 different alpha versions before they released 1.0, and they released 1.0 last year. And there was still stuff missing, so they had been working on it in the background, and they released 2.0 about a week or so ago. And they added like some new zombies, which is alright, that's great. It's nice to see new zombies. Things that, like, they have a plague spitter, so it spits bugs at you, and so you have to kill the bugs and then kill the zombie. They have like a Yeti that'll throw ice at you when you're it's in like the different biomes, because they focused on biome progression now. And so it's like you start in the pine forest, then you go to the burnt forest, then you go to the desert, then you go to the snow biome, then you go to the wasteland. But they added something that I'm not really fond of. Now, when you go into the new biomes, so when you leave the pine forest and go to the burnt forest, you are like being suffocated because everything's supposed to be like on fire or like having had been burned, which it doesn't make sense. At least the burnt forest doesn't really make sense, because you can play in that game for 300 days in game. So like it's not really on fire anymore. But you have 3 minutes of survival time before you start to tick down and die. And in order to be able to last longer, you need to complete challenges. Kill X amount of zombies, loot X amount of items, find craft a thing, drink a thing, and survive in that biome for X amount of time. And to me, it's just like they're pushing. There's a whole system of now progression, where one of the key things you need to do to be able to go into the desert is you need to have the badge and complete all the challenges for the burnt forest, which like severely locks away the idea of the sandbox game that 7 Days to Die is. If I want to go right to the wasteland, I should be able to, and I should be able to complete the challenges. Like, they called this Storms Brewing because they wanted to add dynamic weather, which the game had weather, but it was never like really detrimental. It was just raining. But now, like, in each biome, the weather affects you, and like a storm could happen anywhere, and it could cause you to like you could start taking damage. The thing I hate the most about this new weather system, especially with the like progression, the biome progression and taking damage when you're just in the biome, is if you find a building to go into and you're in that building, you're still taking damage from the heat in the desert, the cold in the snow biome.
That's bad.
It's you need to clear the challenges in order to do that, which I'm like, that's kind of bullshit, because then it's like a lot of this game has been around forever. There's still no story. It's just survival, and most people play with different challenges. So like, if I could, now it's a new challenge to be like, okay, let's see how long I can survive in the snow biome without completing the challenges. And so then you have to learn how to. You can't start there because you only have 3 minutes before you start to freeze, and it takes a lot of materials to craft the drink that you can craft in order to drink it to survive 5 minutes each time you drink it. So it's like, it's frustrating. There is a way to turn off biome progression, which I don't know what that does. I think it still has the challenges. It's just you don't have to do burnt forest for desert first, and then desert to snow, and then snow to wasteland. I think it's like you can just do them all in any order. I don't really know. I haven't play tested it, but it's just like I love like that they're trying to enhance the game. I like games that have like weather effects, but I'm not really a fan of like the other thing is like the sides of your screen get all messed up when you're in before you have your badge. So if you're in the burnt forest, the border of your screen it gets all smoky. Or if you're in the desert, the border of your screen gets all wavy and miragey. Or if you're in the snow biome, it gets all frozen. And that bogs down your screen and messes with your view. And I don't know if there's a way to turn that visual off. But that was one of the reasons I hated the ice biome in Shroud was because of how much it covered your screen when you were there. And it's just it's all like my clothes should affect weather, like heat and cold. The clothes I'm wearing should affect heat and cold. They don't. Your clothes don't matter except for skills now. And I'm like, you moved it one step forward and then like 3 steps back because you had weather effects in version 1.0 and in the previous alphas where like you needed warm clothes in the snow biome. Like, why can't we just do that now? It's a weird choice they made. And then the other big complaint, they didn't add new fucking weapons. This game has been around for 12 years and has had like the same 20 weapons in the game. Like, give us new weapons. I don't want to run around with a machete. I want to have like a samurai sword or some shit like that. I want like I want like 4 different machine guns to pick from. I don't want to like, because it's a survival crafting progression game. So you start with the pipe pistol, then you get a regular pistol, then you can get when it comes to the pistols, you can get not a minigun, a
revolver.
Like no, a small machine gun. I can't remember what it's called, but like an Uzi, basically. With the revolvers, you can get a revolver, or you can get a Desert Eagle, and that's it. Rifles, it's pipe rifle, AK-47, M16, and then an M70, which is like a big machine gun. It's like that's all they've ever had. With sniper rifles, there's the pipe sniper rifle, the hunting rifle, and then the sniper rifle. I think that's it. It's just the 3 of them. It's like, give me more variety in weapons, because we've been using this. Like, a lot of people now download weapon mod packs just to give more variety. I've seen there's a mod out there for 7 Days to Die that, like, when it becomes like fully completed, I'm going to probably download it. And it's Escape from Tarkov mod, where like the zombies have armor and there's tons of fucking weapons that you can find and tons of like changes to the like modding system of your weapons. I'm like, this is a cool one. Like, this makes guns cool in this game. So it's like the game obviously still needs work. There's still no story yet. And I thought they were supposed to have that done by the time Storm's Brewing is out, but Storm's Brewing was also supposed to be out 6 months ago. So they're behind on production like they've always been. But I'm not too thrilled with what they did, but I do need to mess around with the settings and see like what happens when you turn off biome progression to see if like it changes the challenges to where I no longer have to have the previous badge to get the next badge or what. But it's just like, it's a weird call. I don't like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, those like screen effects sound cool if they started as like a very small thing, and then like as you got close to dying from that thing, it starts to take up more of the screen. But if it's just like I'm now in the cold and now my screen's like half covered by ice, that's like, that's dumb.
I honestly, I personally, I hate it when it also gets like that progressively smaller screen, because like then I have trouble getting out of the area I'm in because I can't fucking see anything. And I know that's like part of the challenge. Like I don't like bogging down my UI with stuff like that. It makes the game not for my eyes. It makes the game nearly unplayable.
Yeah,
at times.
But it's at least a thing that like I could see being a thing. Like, but I'm with you on it. Kind of sucks either way.
I mean, in Shrouded, their whole weather system was garbage, which made me really hate it. In the fact that like most survival games, if there's a weather system, your clothes will make you survive in that weather. So like if it's a heat system, you put on clothes that'll make you heat resistant, and this way you can survive in the heat. In Shrouded, if you put on cold clothes for the cold biome, it just made it so that you could survive longer in that cold biome. So if you had all of the clothes to max out to be able to survive in the cold biome, it was like a half hour that you could survive by, which is frustrating because in Enshrouded, if you don't know or remember, it is the game where there is a fog that went over the world that like you may fall into the fog, and now you have two timers you have to watch. You have to watch your cold timer and your fog timer at the same time because they're both cold areas. But you can't fast travel out of the fog. So if your cold timer is running low and you're still in the fog, you need to find your way out of the fog so you can fast travel out of the cold. Because, again, there's no environmental protection from the cold when you're in the cold region. If you build a base in the cold region, you are still going to be cold, which is poor design. No matter, like I built a giant base on the top of a mountain. I had I had torches and flames all over the base. Still was taking timer down on my cold while I was in there. It's like, well, then there's no reason to build up here then.
Agree. Yeah, that sounds exactly. It sounds bad.
Yeah. So like if I can't survive in a cold region just by jumping from building to building, then there's no reason to ever go into the cold region until you have that biome badge.
Mm-hmm.
Which doing the biome badge is just like to get the desert biome badge, you need to survive in the desert for 25 minutes. Which the drink you can drink is a 5-minute drink, but you need to go into the desert to find the items you need to make that drink. And so it's like you need 5 of those drinks in order to clear that 25-minute timer, which is just like that's kind of bull. It's stupid. Like. Now I should be able to get underground, get into a building and like relax for a bit because it's also like the timer doesn't disappear when you leave that region; it then counts back up. So if you were in that region for a minute and a half and you leave that region, you then have to wait a minute and a half to cool back down or to catch your breath before you can go back into the region with the full 3-minute timer. Which like just kind of slows down gameplay. I don't know. I'm not too big a fan of it.
I haven't played 7 Days to Die in a while. I'm just kind of when I played it though, I kind of remember like there just wasn't a lot of quality of life features. Is that something they're actually adding to the game with these patches?
They've added some quality of life shit. They've added a lot of like updates to quality of life, and there's now like challenges where kill X amount of zombies and that'll give you experience and things like that. I don't know how long ago it's been since you played 7 Days to Die, so I don't know like what they've added since you've played.
The UI I remember being really like dumbed down. Like it was just very much like text, and I didn't know what I was looking at.
The UI is basically the same. They've never really changed the UI. But like it's all like real big menu based, and it's not like it's not. I don't think it's unintuitive, but I've been playing since like Alpha 16, and it makes sense to me because like it gives me a sense of feel for like how a survival horror game would have their UI. So like it really just kind of makes sense. But it's some of the stuff in the game just really like I get it because I still make mistakes on things, and they could do a better job at some of the stuff.
It just doesn't seem polished. I guess that's the word I'm looking for.
No, and it's not. It definitely isn't. A game that's been in development for 13 years, you'd think would be a little bit more polished before they started working on a spin-off multiplayer-only title of that game.
Let me tell you about a game called Star Citizen.
Oh, boy.
There's no spin-off of Star Citizen, though.
Yes, there is.
There's a spin-off of Star Citizen by the same developer of Star Citizen?
Pretty sure. Because like, I don't even think there is a game you can play in Star Citizen, really. Yeah.
No, it's all user based. It's all. But like, I mean, people put millions of dollars into that fucking game for some reason, and like none of it is going to last because when the game officially releases, they're going to lose all their fucking shit. It is still in alpha. Like it's. I'm sure it's in the terms of service that no one's read that you could lose your stuff when the game goes green or goes gold. But like 7 Days to Die, the Fun Pimps, they released a game called 7 Days to Die Blood Moons, which is a spin-off game where it's an asymmetric multiplayer game where 4 players are playing as survivors and 1 person is controlling the zombies. And it's a horde night every night, basically. And it's like, your other game is still basically incomplete, and people are asking you for more stuff in this game. Why are you releasing Blood Moons? Like, get this game in the better... Like, give us the story of 7 Days to Die before you release Blood Moons.
Oh yeah, here it is. Squadron 42 is the single-player game set in the Star Citizen universe that they're also working on while also not finishing Star Citizen.
Jesus. Fucking Star Citizen, man. I watched the Smosh
Star
Reddit
Citizen
stories.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
And there was one of the Reddit stories that they read on that was about a guy who potentially was close to being divorced because he could not stop buying ships on Star Citizen and spent thousands of dollars on ships in Star Citizen.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, I believe it, and she should have.
Yeah.
The Squadron 42 was apparently originally announced for release in 2014.
Jeez.
It's now at the very earliest coming out next year.
Yep, that's what I was just reading too.
12 years that they haven't put out the side game to the game.
Next year is also the potential release of Squadron 42, so they're going to do side by side, maybe?
Yeah. So actually, is Star Citizen supposed to come out next year too? Because 2026 is what they're saying for Squadron 42.
I thought I just saw that they were going to both be next year, but
maybe.
I mean, we know it's not. We know it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. But yeah, fucking Star Citizen, man.
That's a shame. Yeah, I was so excited for that when I first heard about it.
I mean, hey, they've done a very good job of marketing that game to the point that they've gotten millions and millions of dollars for a game that everyone could just probably go play EVE Online for the same amount of money.
Yeah. That game is wild.
But yeah. Anything else? Anything else we want to talk about?
I mean, I watched the show 911. We talked about...
We're watching, or the Roblo?
Roblo is Lone Star. Roblo is Texas.
Is that it was Lone Star 911?
Or is that 911 Lone Star?
Lone Star. Okay,
it's
so
the
this is like
one.
the original show, and that was the spinoff.
Yeah, this is the one that was that Lone Star spun off on. Like, there is an episode, I believe it's season 2 or 3 of Lone Star. I think it's early season 2, that there's a wildfires in Texas that characters from 911 are in.
Oh, you got to have the crossover episodes.
Yeah, but they don't have a opposite crossover. I think I've talked about Lone Star because that's the one where the series finale was a meteor hitting Austin.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I watched it because I was looking for another like disaster porn show to watch, and these shows are great for that. And this one, like, I don't know, I feel like Lone Star was better initially, but this one like got there, but like they focused way too hard on a lot of like the most ridiculous storylines. Like, it's a drama show, so that's fucking what they do. 2 characters just get so brutally tortured throughout the entire series. I feel bad. Chimney and Maddie, which are like, Maddie is Jennifer Love Hewitt and Chimney is they get married eventually, but they have like an on and again, off again relationship for a while. They get fucked up multiple times throughout the series, and it's just like I felt so bad for them. But overall, like, it was a solid series. To be honest, one of the one character that like I didn't hate him, but he occasionally made me feel uncomfortable. Just the actor himself was honestly the lead character, the lead captain. Just because of the way he was, the way he kind of acted. So every time, like, he was a very religious person because he had gone through the whatever it is, the 7 steps or whatever. Like he had gone through addiction issues. And so he went through the whole system, and he found God and everything. And so like he would occasionally like he never acted like super pious or anything like that, but he would act like he would use God for a lot of reasoning, and like even Angela Bassett's character, who was his eventual wife in the series, like she's very religious as well, but like she didn't make me feel uncomfortable. But the way he did and his acting, like it made me feel uncomfortable because anytime I saw his face, I thought of the dad from Seventh Heaven, and all the controversy about him, and like this guy just made me feel uncomfortable because I thought of that guy every time I saw him. Like it's a very weird connection. I don't even think they really look very similar, but maybe they just acted a little too similar to each other, which is why it made me think that way.
So this is Nash.
Nash, yes.
Yeah.
Bobby
okay,
Nash.
so they don't look that similar, but they look similar enough where at least at a quick glance, and if they're starting to act a little similar, I can get it.
Yeah, Potato. Do you know about Seventh Heaven, right? You know the show Seventh Heaven.
Never seen it.
All right. Well, it was a show about a pastor and his family, basically. And the dad in Seventh Heaven who played the pastor, the actor was found in was it a child porn ring or
something like that?
Trafficking, something like that.
Yeah.
And this came out many, many years after the show had been over and done. But like the show can't air anymore because he's an actor playing a really good guy and he's a shitty person. And like it's just like that's like I would see the main actor of Bobby Nash. I would see the actor who played Bobby Nash in 911, and I would see the actor from the dad of Seventh Heaven, like just the way he acted more so than like his actual physical looks. But like it still was fine. It's just like occasionally I was just like, oh, that just makes me feel a little weird. It's just that connection that just like would buzz in me every once in a while. But overall, like the show was good. There were some really weird, weak storylines that just like I think it was season. What did we just have? Season 7. So it might have been season 6. The second to last. It's the second to most recent season. I'm not going to say last season because the show's still going on, I believe. But the second to most recent season had the weirdest storyline where one of the characters ran into a woman who was being played by the same actress who was playing his dead wife. And he saw her and was like, oh, you look exactly like my dead wife. And starts to have is emotionally cheating on his now girlfriend with a woman who looks exactly like his dead wife. It was the dumbest, most uncomfortable storyline ever. And I was just like, this is just weak. This is so weak. But then, of course, they have the normal, like, disaster porn crazy shit that happens. A tsunami hit Los Angeles. Let's see, what are the most ridiculous things? A tsunami hit Los Angeles. There was no volcano like in 911 Lone Star. Volcano was great. Wait until you get to the volcano, Drew. Let's see.
You're assuming I'm ever going to watch this because
I thought you said you were watching it, or you were just
no.
Okay. But like there's a tsunami. What are the disasters? Nash and Athena go on their honeymoon on a cruise ship, which gets hijacked because one of the workers is smuggling Bitcoin. And because it gets hijacked, the hijackers destroy the comm system, and they get stuck. And then an explosion happens because of the hijackers, which causes the ship to capsize, and you have a whole Poseidon scenario where then the firefighters of Los Angeles they don't hijack, but they basically hijack an LA fire chopper to go off the coast of Mexico to save their fire captain and police sergeant that are on this ship. It was ridiculous. Yeah. See yeah.
They look similar enough. I can totally see it.
Similar adjacent.
Yeah. Definitely not the same, but
there was a whole storyline in the newest season where a tractor trailer full of bees crashes, and then the bees are then like it's a ecological issue.
Oh god.
Basically, like they do like they treat it like it's like a gas spill because like the bees could be incredibly harmful to like all the people around, and like it lasts like the bee scenario lasts 3 days, which 3 episodes, and one of the episodes character is flying a biplane, flies into the cloud of bees at whatever height he's flying in, which then crashes into a jetliner, like a 747, which, guess what, has one of the main characters in it.
Of course.
And yeah. And they end up landing the jetliner on the 404 expressway of Los Angeles, because when the crash happened, like, they had control of the rudders, but like a piece of the biplane was lodged into the 747. As they were getting ready to try to descend and land, that piece flies off, which destroys the rudders, which means they can only go straight. They couldn't turn the plane at all, but they were in the perfect angle to land on the 404 fucking highway on Los Angeles. And it stops inches in front of Bobby Nash's face. And then it's funny because I watched this after I watched Lone Star, and the end of Lone Star, the last episode, for like 20 minutes, they allude to the fact that Rob Lowe's character is no longer with them. And both the last scene you see him in is him basically passing out due to blood loss after stopping a nuclear meltdown in a test facility at Austin College after a meteor hits the reactor, which I had looked it up. That is an actual facility. Like, they have a nuclear reactor facility in the Austin college, which is like, it produces power for them. And it's like kind of an actual nuclear reactor or something like that. So he stops the meltdown, and then he's bleeding out. So for 20 minutes, they're alluding that he's no longer there. It's like, oh, it's going to be weird without Dad here. It's going to be weird without Captain here. And then it turns out, oh, he actually accepted the job to go back to New York and be the police chief. Or the fire chief. Not police chief. The fire chief back in New York. But in the third to last episode of the most recent season, they kill off Bobby. A fire is started in a disease lab, like a lab that tests like possible diseases and manufactures vaccines and things like that for them. And a new disease was just created, and the woman is getting fired, so she sets a fire so that she can take it, and the fire causes an explosion, and one of the characters gets sick because his mask broke, and then Bobby's tube, and it's a very deadly virus that kills within minutes or within hours. Bobby's air tube gets split, but he hides it from everyone because he has to be the good guy and make sure his people live. And they end up killing him off. And like, there's so many people out there who's like, why did you kill Bobby but not kill Owen? Like, you should have killed Owen and kept Bobby. I kind of agree. Like, since the series was ending, you should have just killed Owen anyway, which was Rob Lowe's character. But like, I looked it up and they're like, oh, there's no contract disputes or anything. They just wanted to show the high stakes of the job. Motherfucker, like, you couldn't have killed him in like a blaze of glory during fighting like a big fire, or like when the plane was landing on the 404 or some shit like that. You kill him when he was stuck in a building during a spread of a disease. Like, it was just it was a weird story beat in a weird scenario, but it was if you like weird disaster porn shows like that, you should definitely check it out.
I mean, it sounds goofy.
It is. It's very, some of the like I think Lone Star jumped the shark more. Like, this show stayed a little bit more grounded, but it was a little bit less about like the overall disasters in this one than Lone Star, which Lone Star was more about the overall disasters, whereas this one was more about like the characters and the character and the stories of each character. So like, Bobby's story was like, he was an addict, and he was using in his apartment building in an abandoned apartment, and he was using like a space heater, and he fell asleep one day after using, and it lit fire to the apartment building, which his wife and kids were in, and they all died from it. And like 150 people died from what he did, but he wasn't found guilty because the apartment complex was like, there was no sprinkler system, alarm system, or anything properly set up. So like, it wasn't, although it was he started it, it wasn't his fault that people died. But he, like, his whole story for the first season was like, well, when I rescue 150 people, I'm going to kill myself because I don't deserve to live. I just have to pay it back. And it was a weird, like, a weird redemption story to then realizing that, like, he has more to save people's lives. Whereas everyone else's story is just, like, just as weird and ridiculous. Like, Maddie's story is a story about dealing with, her husband was abusive and, like, dealing with him, and then she deals with PTSD, or not PTSD, postpartum, and it's just like there was a lot. It's a lot of emotions in that show. Shockingly, it's crazy.
It's no Ted Lasso.
I want to watch that show. That's on my eventual list, but like it's I want to watch Ted Lasso, but like when I watch shows like 911, it's more of like background noise. I don't want to care, but like I want to have it on. Whereas like if I'm watching. Yeah, where it's like if I'm watching Ted Lasso, if I'm watching a comedy, like I want to watch it. I want to sit down. I want to watch it. I don't want to be falling asleep during it or anything. And that's generally what I was doing with 911. It's like I put it on before bed, before I'm ready to fall asleep.
That makes sense.
But is there anything else, or is that about a show? Anything else you want to talk about, you potato?
Nothing in particular. I had some notes, but I know we're probably catching up on time here, right?
We make up our own time. If you got something you want to talk about, let's talk about it.
We can go a little bit longer. We got time.
The one thing I was kind of like really interested in, I know you guys probably don't play it, but it's an older game now, I guess. Team Fortress 2 is actually getting a huge update soon.
I did hear that this was happening, and that's kind of wild.
So the last major update this game has had was back in 2012, I think.
Yeah, because I think TF2 came out in 07, 08.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Man vs. Machine was introduced in 2012. There was a big update in 2017. Okay, so that would probably be the biggest update since then.
Still, that's fucking 8 years ago.
I mean, the game has been going on since 2007, so almost 20 years.
It's kind of had a bit of a resurgence with a lot of the community's outlash about how a lot of the servers or lobbies are kind of taken over by cheaters. So yeah, apparently it's still like it's actually a game that's continuing to grow again, which is great. And apparently Valve has announced they're going to be opening up a submission, I guess, that you can submit like your own items or maps and whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's community focused. So they want to allow people to submit maps and missions. And then I think the deadline's like late August, and I think it's going to be around Halloween. They're going to drop a big Halloween update and introduce all this stuff. So I'm actually kind of excited because actually the Man vs. Machine mode is like a co-op mode, which I love. I love co-op games. In fact, Drew, I don't know if you remember in Overwatch, there was that co-op missions you could do like Junkerstein, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I love those kinds of things.
Is this something like that?
It's very like that, yeah. So I'm actually really excited. I've been wanting to play TF2 again for a long time, and I think this is enough for me to want to install it again and actually give it a go.
Yeah.
I've been looking to try to find something to fill in like the occasional want for competitive gaming. Right now, it's looking like we might be trying out a Pokemon Unite. Which be, I mean, I played that a few times back when it first launched, and I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. But like Team Fortress 2, I have 33 minutes of playtime in Team Fortress 2, so maybe I'll play that.
It's a fun game. I mean, Drew, I know you enjoy Overwatch from time to time, or at least you used to when it was better.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a little bit of TF2 way back when, but
it's a fun game, man. I do love it. I sometimes think about how fun it was when I used to play it. I'm like, why did I even let go of this game? I don't even know. It's just more games came out and I played other games because it was never a bad game for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably, yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
The only other thing I was kind of interested in gaming-wise, news-wise, was the new James Bond game that was announced. I don't know if you guys saw anything about that yet.
Yeah, that was it was on the PlayStation event, as well as I think it was just the PlayStation event. Thing? Yeah,
no, I think that they had it at the Summer Game Fest too, because I think they had they had people from IO come out, and maybe even whoever was doing the voice for Bond in it.
Have you guys played the Hitman World of Assassination game?
I played a very little bit.
Do you know what they meant by the whole, like, the missions are evolving as time goes on thing? Apparently it's something in Hitman World of Assassin or whatever.
So I've watched a fair amount of Hitman being played, but I'm pretty sure, there are certain objectives that, depending with, like, what you do when you're trying to get to it, like, if you get seen, they'll move your target to a different spot, or,
Oh, so that's cool.
I think it's just in general, like, in that game, I think it's the longer you take to do the mission, the more stuff that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
More so, like, it's an ever moving level. It's not just you get to point, like, if you stood there for an hour and like at the beginning of the game you stood there for an hour, your target's not going to be at the same spot it was an hour ago. It's it's a living organism. That's how those games really work. It's like stuff is always happening unless dynamic. You have it paused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I didn't realize that's what they meant by it, but I thought that was an interesting, like, thing that they brought up.
Yeah. At least I'm assuming that's what they're meaning by it. But
I'm sure, because, like, that's the one thing about Hitman is, like, each game, like, the big thing they talked about is, like, your choices in each level affects how the level goes, and you can clear the level in X amount of different ways because it's your choices. Like, you could just run up and gun and kill the enemy, but then, like, you're gonna have a much harder level because everyone's shooting back at you. Or you can be the sneaky, stealthy guy. Like, I've seen things where, like people kill car mechanics during an F1 race in order to shoot a racer while he's driving down the track and shit like that. Like, you can plan that out. Or you could just go up to him and just kill him early on.
So that was actually one of the bullet points I had for myself here, was the gameplay consists of a lot of different stealth mechanics, gunplay, car chases, and strategic gadgets to kind of progress through the level, and you kind of choose your path. So I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with that, which I didn't realize. The other thing I thought was really cool about this game, I mean, obviously everyone knows GoldenEye is, like, the classic OG. Like, everyone, like, obsesses over that as the FPS to boot FPSs for, I guess, the modern era. But I was a big fan of actually the sequel, which was The World Is Not Enough. I had so much fun playing that game. Like, I remember having slap matches with friends on the N64. And I just, I'm looking forward to a new James Bond game. And because I haven't really played one I enjoyed since the one on the GameCube of all, for some reason. I think it was called Nightfire, if I remember right. And
what was that one?
I think it was Nightfire, and that was actually a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it a lot, but I haven't really played a James Bond game since. And that could be a game that scratches that storyline itch for me, that story arc kind of game where you can kind of do your own thing. I think the last kind of game I played similar to that was, oh my goodness, there's like 4 of them now. I want to say, like, it starts with a J. It's like an open world concept.
Don't know.
That's gonna kill me. All right, whatever. It was like an open world concept game where
Oh wait, Just Cause?
Just Cause, yes. I knew it was a J. Just Cause, those games. I remember playing some of those. I didn't play all of them, but that was kind of like, it kind of got me on that itch. It was kind of like Mercenaries, if you remember Mercenaries.
Just Cause was more of like a what's that called? More of like a GTA style kind of sandbox. Yeah.
Yeah, the storyline wasn't really there for those games. And I feel like James Bond would do a better job at a storyline. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested.
My only about the James Bond game is this is supposed to be Bond before he's Bond.
Yes.
But they're like modern times. James Bond started in what, the 60s, 70s? Like, but they're driving around in modern cars with modern technology. Now, I know he's a super spy, so he's going to have, like, better technology. But it's just, like, to me, I'm like, this is a little weird that you're, like, placing James Bond in 2015 and not, like, in 1970.
As someone who is not a James Bond aficionado, I always was under the impression that there was just multiple James Bonds regardless.
Well, so that's kind of the running... There is no definitive answer to this, but a lot of people are now kind of running with the theory that James Bond is a code name, not a person.
Yes.
So, and I mean, the fact that you go, there's 30 James Bond movies with 7 different actors at this point. Like, and I mean, realistically, because the Daniel Craig Casino Royale was essentially a reboot.
Yeah.
That was a new James Bond. Like, so, I mean,
yeah, like, it is like, yeah, if they're doing James Bond before Daniel Craig, it makes a little bit more sense, but it's also like, maybe they'll explain that. Who knows if this game will be considered canon or not? But maybe they'll explain, like, oh, you are the 5th Bond or something like that. Like, you are.
I would love that.
Like, you, Daniel Craig, are the 7th Bond to exist.
I think that'd be so cool. Because I do think it has a lot of potential. It's been a while since I remember a James Bond game having hype behind it. So, like, I think this could be potential to really bring it back.
I don't think there's been a James Bond game in at least 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably been a while. I don't think, like, the GameCube era might be the last time they made a Bond game, to be honest.
No,
yeah, and it was no. Well, I think was it Wii U or Switch that had the remake?
Well, yeah, there was a GoldenEye remake, but
007 Legends back in 2012 looks like the last one they've done. Wow.
I don't even know what that is.
There was also Bloodstone 007
okay.
in 2010.
2010, that's all. It's the GoldenEye remake. Oh, right, there was a Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace, yeah. I remember that, actually.
Like,
but see, I was not excited for any of these games, though.
No, I mean, nobody was. But honestly, Sean, there's a, like, free starter pack of the Hitman. You might want to try it out. It's pretty cool.
It's free on Steam?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Because, yeah, it's a very interesting thing that they did with, like, how you can, you go, it tells you, here's your 2 targets, and gives you a little bit of detail on them. Go.
Well, this is embarrassing. Remember that backlog of games? Apparently, I actually own this game. So, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Try it out.
Sounds about right.
I have my weekend planned.
But I just got a notification we have a thunderstorm warning, so I think that should probably be a show.
I think this is a show now. We're just under 2 hours, so that sounds good.
Perfect.
I just want to make sure we don't lose any content. So
that would be a bummer. So next week, book club, True Lies. Do you remember what the fuck that's on? I don't.
I don't know.
Look.
It's somewhere. I'll find it while you're talking about other stuff.
You can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/OneQuest. We are
Hulu.
on Blues. It is on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
We're on Blue Sky at one-quest.com. Twitter and Instagram is one_quest. Facebook is OneQuest Online. YouTube at OneQuest Video. Send us emails. Social at one-quest.com. Go to the website one-quest.com. You can find everything there. YouTube podcast. Or YouTube Music is where the podcasts are on Google,
now back on
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. It's everywhere. Find it. Yep. Sean, where can people find you? You're starting some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're of a project we've been working on, which is Spud Sessions, which is another podcast, but it's a work in progress. We're kind of learning as we go. I don't really have much to plug, honestly. If anyone's really looking for me, they can just look me up, Sean Erickson, ERIXON. I'm pretty much on all the social platforms. And I just want to also say I appreciate you guys having me on as your guest this week. Thank you so much.
Thank you for hopping in on a short notice.
Of course.
And Richie, what's your streaming like this week?
Yeah, twitch.tv/B_1 is for video game streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Pokemon is no longer going to be a consecutive game. We're just playing that on Sundays, but every time Pokemon is being played, the event is continuing, so subs and bits and donations and things like that all still go towards adding to the event. We will be starting Slime Rancher next week.
Nice.
Because that is one of the several games we have to play from the Pride charity stream. So we're playing a bunch of gay games. So come hang out with me while we play a bunch of gay games. I can't wait to play Date Everything because Matt Mercer and Brendan Lee Mulligan both voice characters in that game.
Oh yeah.
And like, I think Brendan Lee Mulligan voices like a set of board games. And then there's also what's his name, who was Asterion. He plays some sort of character in that as well. Like there's a ton of fucking voice actors. I'm gonna try to date them all. Yeah, and eventually Celeste and Demon Souls and stuff like that. So come just hang out. We got a lot going on, and I'll be doing Expedition 33 soon, very soon. Probably by August if I haven't started it through July. Anything else? No, not really. If anything, I think I'm boycotting 4th of July, so I might stream all day that day. So come hang out with me on 4th of July, because fuck America.
But you're still going to have some glizzies, right?
What's that?
You're going to still have some glizzies, right?
You know, I could grill some dogs, and yeah, I could have some while we're boycotting the 4th of July. I also just don't like fireworks, so I just don't really care for it. It is my least favorite holiday. It is my least favorite holiday.
Well, no, you know, you should find hot dogs that are made like in Canada or something. That's what you should do.
Let's vamp for a little bit longer.
I mean, I guess they're not. Maple Lodge Farms, Harvest Meats, Pillars. Those are some Canadian brands.
There we go. Might have to get it imported.
I don't know. Yeah, I bet you can find them. Go to like Sprouts or something.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I bet they got some weird brand that's not made in America.
Mapleleaf.ca has hot dogs.
He's found it. He found it. Everybody.
Does it say, can you get them?
Let's see if I can get them imported.
How's the tariffs looking on food?
It's. I'm willing to pay the Trump tax on this. I'm willing to pay the Trump tax on this. Can I order from this website? Products. I don't think I can order from the website.
Aww.
Where to buy? Let's see. Let me just put my zip code. 08031. Oops. Cut that cop. I don't know, but I hear the thunder, so let's wrap up.
Yep. All right. So yeah, that's the show. So catch everybody next week.
All right. Bye guys.
See ya.